Hello, friends. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to the Ask the EO Vet Q&A. I missed last week, but I'm back this week. So if you're hopping on live, you can pop your question in the chat or just say hi. Let me know where you're from. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay because I do keep track of that to make sure that we're doing these things that are relevant for you guys and that you actually care about. If you guys don't want me to do these anymore or don't care, that is okay. That doesn't hurt my feelings. To be able to go do something else on a Sunday night besides hang out with you guys. Of course, I love to hang out with you guys and answer your questions. And I've been doing this for years. But I realize social media changes, wanting to have a different way of giving you guys this information changes. And I just want to stay relevant to what you guys like. You break these up and post them as reels, which I think a lot of you like. So just for those purposes, I think we'll keep doing them because I think a lot of people see those a lot more than the actual live these days because of, algorithms and things like that. So if you are hopping on live and you have a question, you can pop your question in the comments. Just let me know you can hear me and see me, okay? And we'll jump into the questions that were already previously posted. So first question is, let me actually change how I am viewing this so I can see everybody's question. Okay. Wendy says, I have a cat. She has some eye issues. What can I do? So for eyes, you can do a cool lavender compress, which you could do about 2 cups of cool water. And you can do a drop or 2 of lavender and frankincense in there. Dip a cotton washcloth in there. Just make sure it's cotton or microfiber. Wring it out really, really well so it's barely damp. And then hold it over the eyes. This can help take redness out of the eyes. Make sure the eyes are closed when you put it on there. And sometimes you'll have to do one eye at a time because some animals don't like having their eyes closed. Do it when the animal is calm and maybe eating food or snuggled up on your lap while you're watching TV. If the cool doesn't work so well for that cat, you can do warm. That's totally fine. That's more like, a mama kitty licking them kind of a thing. And they're a little bit more tolerant of the warm sometimes. But sometimes the cool feels really, really good on red, irritated eyes. But just make sure they stay closed because no oils in the eyes, right? No oils in the eyes. That's very irritating. So. Emma says, if I use apple cider vinegar and Terra Shield bug spray, which is a fly spray for horses, the ear infection blend on the ears, and spot treatment for allergies every time they come inside, how often do I need to give her a full bath to get the oils off? I think I addressed this in the group. Maybe not. Also, if I use Roman chamomile and water for the eyes, the cloth, would she be okay with that? Yes. All of those are safe for internal use. But you don't have to get the oils off. But if her coat is getting super greasy and dirty and you want to clean it, you can absolutely give her a bath once a week or however often you want to. Just make sure you're using something like earth baths, hypoallergenic, fragrance-free shampoo. If you want to add oils to the shampoo, you can, and rinse it off really, really well. So the problem with bathing regularly is not rinsing them well enough or stripping the natural oils in their fur. And that can lead to dryness and that sort of thing. But if she's really greasy and oily and hot and gooey anyways because of the skin stuff that she's got going on already, that's actually going to be a good thing. We actually do want to dry out her skin a little bit, and it can actually be more beneficial if you do that. So it really just depends on what's going on. If she's got that damp heat, that damp, yucky, gooey summer thing that happens with a lot of dogs, go ahead and give a bath. Don't worry about frequency or anything like that. And keep your dog clean and healthy, and that can actually help soothe their skin in addition. Let's see. Oh, Angie says, what's the best way to or thing to say to defend essential oils? I'm a pet groomer. When mentioning products that contain oils, it usually, especially citrus or lavender, the amount of controversy and miseducation of others starts arguments. So I don't engage with arguments. I educate. That's what I do. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. You are entitled to your opinion. I base a lot of my information on science and research. So I'm pretty confident in what I'm saying. Angie, you can always send people over to my page. Just be like, hey, you should go follow the Essential Oil Vet. She's been doing this for over a decade. She's got a safety guide that is totally free that you can download that gives you the accurate information that you need. But you're right, a lot of essential oils are actually not good for animals. That's why I use the brand that I use, and because most of the brands out there are actually adulterated and harmful to animals. So I actually agree with them. A lot of times I'll be like, you're right, a lot of oils are really toxic because there's a lot of adulterated stuff out there, and I use that as a chance to educate. And when you agree with them, they're like, yeah, I'm right. Oh, and it's you're right, and there's more to the conversation, right? Now that's if you're willing to get into that. Most of the time I don't engage. There's people who just want to argue for the sake of arguing, especially on social media, which is why I started my own page to educate, and to help you guys. I don't really want to get into a fight with people on social media. That's super not good for my mental health. I don't have the bandwidth to be able to deal with that. And if they come onto my page and start arguments, I can just delete their comments. And so that's what I do. I don't get into big groups and have conversations about that. If I do, I just start my own group. It's rising above is the pettiness, basically. Most of that comes from, Angie, a lack of education, and that's all it is. And so sending them to me, that kind of takes you out of it, right? You're like, just go to Dr. Roark. She's a veterinarian. She's been using essential oils. There's a whole organization dedicated to veterinarians that use essential oils in their practice, and so take it up with them, because then you don't have to get into the conversation and just be like, I actually follow her recommendations, which are safe, and I've been using them successfully in my grooming practice for a long time, and then just move on. Don't engage. So I'm not in the defending business. I'm in the education business. So I hope that helps. And a lot of that, you have to build up some resiliency to it, because people get real upset sometimes. But they get real upset about anything. They get upset about what food you're feeding. They get upset about, if you even mention raw food, some people will just go psycho, veterinarians included. And so it's like, well, let's have an open dialogue. And if you're not open to an open dialogue, then I'm not going to have a conversation with you. And moving on. Okay. Sorry. That's a little bit of a pedestal. I got up on a little soapbox there. I'll hop down now. All right. Carol Spears is asking, is having trouble bringing up the videos live. So if you're having trouble watching these videos live, you have to hop on at 7:00, and sometimes there's a delay and you have to just refresh your feed. I don't know why Facebook doesn't show these live videos to people anymore. I'm doing them straight live through the Facebook app now, or through the Facebook page, and so it should be showing it to you guys a little bit more easily, because I'm not using a third party thing. I was using StreamYard before, but really it's just a matter of updating, refresh. Ear support in dogs. Elsabe, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. Sorry. So I actually have a really good resource for you. If you go over to essentialoilvet.com/ear guide, I think, you get a free ear download, which tells you how to clean the ears and what oils you can use to support the ears. Jennifer Silva is asking, can I diffuse lemongrass with cats? So this is the one that is a little bit controversial. And lemongrass is quite spicy, but yes, you can diffuse it around cats. Just make sure you're only using 3 to 4 drops in a water-based diffuser, and you leave the room door open so the cat can leave if they want. It can be a little strong for some cats, but cats do fine with lemongrass. It's one that I don't like to use topically on them, but diffuse, it's totally fine. Mackie Valdez has a pit mix that's spayed. She's about 2 years old, and she leaks urine, and it's not all the time, but it is frequent. And so she's wondering what she can use to help. So for that, a lot of times there's a hormone component, and sometimes there is a sphincter component. So I like to use a combination of cypress, juniper berry, and marjoram. And you do have to be really consistent about it and apply it about 3 times a day. So use 4 to 6 drops of each in a 10 milliliter roller bottle. Top it off with fractionated coconut oil, mix it up really well, and apply that kind of right over where the bladder would be. So kind of like right in front of her tail on her back, or even on her belly if she lets you. Kind of right where that bladder would be, right in front of the very end of her body. And so that is what I would recommend for that. There is also a medication that you can give, and you can talk to your regular veterinarian about that if it's not getting under control. Let's see. Marissa, I'm wondering if helichrysum is as effective for healing if it's used aromatically versus topically. My dog was on the losing end of a scuffle with another dog, and his jaw sustained some bites. He's on pain meds and antibiotics. I want to add some additional healing support. I was wondering if diffusion would be as helpful at all, or is best to apply directly to him. Thank you. I love this question because it brings up something else. So, Marissa, when an animal has a traumatic event, like getting in a fight with another dog or being in a car accident or something like that, that is a traumatic event for us. It's emotionally, it's traumatic for your dog emotionally as well. Okay. And essential oils have an amazing physical healing component, right? We know that it's helpful for wounds. It can help prevent infection, all sorts of things, and decrease inflammation, all of those things that essential oils do from a physical standpoint. They also help from an emotional standpoint in helping with that trauma that they just experienced. And I love that you said helichrysum, because helichrysum is one of those great oils that is good for both. So it's good for emotional and physical healing. Diffusion will help more with the emotional healing side of things, or if he had any damage to like his lungs. So he's breathing it in. So if it's anything in the nasal cavity to the lungs, diffusion is great for physical and emotional healing from that. Okay. Now, from a topical standpoint, that's going to be a little bit better for the actual wound healing aspects of that. So the physical wounds that happen. And so you can actually do both. And some animals won't let you touch those areas, or maybe they're bandaged and you can't really get to it very well. So doing something like helichrysum, frankincense, myrrh, you can use the skin rejuvenating spray, which has a lot of those wound healing oils in it. You can actually use that directly on those wounds. You can even spray it on there. So if they don't mind you spraying it, so you don't actually have to physically touch it. And you can find that recipe over on my website at essentialoilvet.com. Nicole says, what can I use for a horse that has some canker in his hooves? And she's using a lot of different stuff. I really like tea tree and rosemary for that. You can also use some On Guard. Melissa has a dog, a small dog, a Chihuahua mix that's about 7 to 8 pounds. It licks everything. This clothes, furniture, floor, everything. Not really sure why they're doing that. Sometimes this is an OCD type of behavior, and sometimes there's a digestive component, Melissa. And so I usually like to address both. And with such a small dog, you can use the Kids Tamer blend on the belly in case there's a digestive component. And in case there is like an emotional component, we just talked about diffusion, how that's really good for emotional support. You can use bergamot and melissa diffused. Very, very good for some of these types of OCD type behaviors. Tanya Gilmore is asking about a dog that has very high anxiety about storms and loud noises. He's about 60 pounds. So I would give Copaiba soft gel, Serenity soft gel, and or for a big dog like that, you can do all three, the adaptive capsules. So you can do that when a storm is coming, when he first starts to show symptoms, or even before that. If you can do it like 15 to 30 minutes before the storm even starts, like you can actually nip it in the bud a little bit. And then diffuse calming oils. So again, that emotional support is going to come best through diffusion. And so like bergamot, melissa, like for the OCD dog, or any of your calming oils, lavender, Roman chamomile, adaptive, Serenity is excellent, vetiver, excellent. You can do vetiver topically, very, very strong calming oil that can be really beneficial. Teresa's asking about chemical flea and tick drops and how to get away from those. What oils can be used on the collar? And so I like to use TerraShield. So TerraShield is a blend that is an amazing blend that's already diluted, and you can put it right on the collar, spray it right on the collar. For that, you can also rub it on their legs and on their belly. Now, it's not going to work the same as the chemical drops that last a month or 3 months, because it absorbs into their skin and all of their tissues. So that's why it repels. Because if it absorbs into their skin, then if the oils absorb into their skin, it usually gets metabolized and out of their system in about 4 to 8 hours. So it's not going to last as long as those like medicines that you give. Okay. And then Wendy's asking about a cat that has some cognitive issues. Your calming oils are going to be very beneficial. Serenity diffused at night, balance topically. You can use Peace, the roller bottles, the pre-diluted roller bottles of Peace, Console, and the Kids Calmer blend, all very, very good, that you can rub right on the ear tips and can be very beneficial. I really like Peace for these guys because it has some focus oils in there as well, which can help with being disoriented and things like that comes along with that. All right, you guys, that is all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed our Q&A session. If I didn't get to your question, you can always come over and join us in the EOVet membership. Become an EOVet member. It's only $27 a month, and you can head over there. I do answer 100% of the questions in there. It took us a full hour this last week because we missed last week. So hopefully we'll see you in there. We do have an upcoming first aid webinar as an EOVet member that you get for free. And so we're going to be talking about all the different things that you can do for first aid, what's in a really good first aid kit, what oils you can use for wound care, and things like that. So definitely check it out. Join us over there at essentialoilvet.com/members. And I'll see you in there. Bye, everybody.